folks. Let's ask ourselves a question, kind of an innocent question. And that question is, what is the game of leadership? What are the rules? What court is it being played on? Because I think that a lot of times the real deal is not grasped or understood in a way that there is a clarity and people go, right, this is leadership. This is what I need to do. And if there is a report, this is what I need to look up to. So what is it? Well, over 25 of experience of teaching leaders worldwide and being a leader in myself in the military and professional sports, I can tell you this. Leadership is about making other people better than they are. Let me say it again in a different way. People business. Leadership is looking to your right, to your left, to your front, to your back, seeing people and helping them to become better and making them feel that they can trust you and that you can lead them and you lead them going forward, and because you're like that, they've got your back. A leadership is a human business. It's empowering people. It's about having what's called soft skills. And soft skills is because we humans are soft people, but we need to live in a hard world. But you need to bring those soft skills of the ability to communicate, and the ability to build a cohesive team, and ability to have empathy alongside your competency as a leader. You need to be competent and you need to be empathic. And the two work together. Now, we live in a world where there's a great crisis of leadership. People don't believe anymore. Trust was replaced by cynicism. And that's a worldwide phenomenon in governments, in corporate, even in the family structure. Children are very cynical about their parents many times. Because leadership, which I see it to be firstly in parenthood, and then in schools, and then in the work world, and then in governments, in that order. But there is one more leadership. The really first leadership. Can you guess what it is? And that's the real game. The game is you, the leader, play it with yourself, which means you lead your life in such a way that it gives you the permission and the license to lead others. Because if a person is falling apart in their own life and they don't know how to communicate and they get into trouble all the time and they have a big ego and they only know command and control of their own life and they keep intending and not doing and they keep promising and not fulfilling and a word is not a word between them and them, how can they lead others? And that is going unnoticed in most cases, because unless you bring leaders to see themselves and what they need to do and how they need to improve and what self-development journey they need to be on, unless that is the case, they have no validity of leading other people. Unfortunately, in the world of today, that is not the case. A leader has become a rank. It was never meant to be a rank. Leader had to be an honorable service that empowers other people to be at their best. How distant is that from reality today? I'll let you answer the question. But we're not going to look at the distance. What we're going to look at is at the hope and the promise of it. Because if COVID showed us anything, and the war in Ukraine shows us anything, and the constant bickering in governments of half the right against the left shows us anything, leadership is not leading today by example, and it needs to. And there's new generations coming up that are looking up to people, but they don't trust them. Now, this new generation is highly intelligent. They live in the age of technology, and they also have something extra that our generation didn't have. I'm talking about millennials and Gen Z that are coming up, and they're really starting to take over this world. So what do they need? What do they need from the elder generation by example? Well, I'll tell you what they need. They need to see people they can trust, who have a weight about them, and I mean energy weight about them, and that's called charisma. They need people that are humble and strong. I call it iron fist in a velvet glove. You feel the strength, but they don't hit you with it. They're always soft, and they try to win you as a human being. And I'll tell you what, human beings, when they are being treated as human beings, reciprocate 99 out of 100. So it begins with leadership. It's all about leadership. Leadership is the signal that takes everything forward, and people look up to it. And if the leader does not have good standards and does not have principles, and they have bigotry, and they got people that they have favoritism with them and all that, the organization is going to fall apart sooner or later. Even though we think long time passes by, in real time it's very short. So we need to be thinking about leadership in terms of long term. It's not from today to tomorrow. It's a long-term deal. And leadership needs to be a long-term deal. And a leader needs to be empowering people for the long term. And let the managers take care of the business. Because if you're the leader, take care of the managers and take care of the people and take care of the, how should you say, the environment where everybody works. And it is a happy environment, a human environment where mistakes are not being there to smack people, but to actually correct them and give them the chance to rebuild themselves and from mistakes learn, and they can love the place that they come to work. I know it sounds like fantasy, but that can happen. Minor changes. And I show people how to make these changes, but they gotta be real. It cannot be on their own terms. When I do seminars for CEOs, leaders, no matter what, I show them how to create an ecology. And I show them a plan where they need to follow and apply different things, because knowing it here doesn't do anything. If you know things here and you don't apply them, you actually distance yourself more from the true function of what leadership is. The only reason we get to know things is we need to apply them. And we need to be in a game that is long-term. It doesn't end for us. It should be about the process of when we come to work as the leader that morning. We're firstly human being, and we let others know that we're human beings, and we care about them, and we show them the empathy. And there's a whole bunch of things. Now, in my seminars, I take the bother to break it into bits. So we do things like strategic thinking, but it's alive. Strategic communication, very alive. Emotional intelligence, extremely alive. The ability to put the right emotions when you speak, to actually convey to people what the emotional intelligence is about in you, because you're emotionally intelligent. And emotionally intelligent means that you feel people, that you have empathy. No, you don't suffer fools gladly. Nobody said you should. But I'll tell you what, this iron fist in a velvet glove is an extremely effective principle that if you apply, and I will teach you how to apply it, people will love you. But in order for that to happen, you've got to be a dynamic leader, on the move, developing, and not rest on your laurels, and I did this, and I did that, and I've done this, and I've done that. I can do that the same, but it's not the point. The point is, today we've got a crisis in the world, and it's a crisis of trust. Leadership lost its clout, and it needs to regain, to redefine itself in a way that fits the need. And there's a saying, let the need lead. Let the need lead. And I work on that with leaders, and I take them through a program of 10 different leadership skills that when they learn and put to practice, one of which is emotional intelligence and empathy, they become irresistible to their workforce. And nobody wants to get rid of them because they have competency and they have empathy. Yes, you got to be competent in what you do as a leader, but that depends on your soft skills, believe it or not. Although today we live in an environment that the powers that be think that hard skills is what it's all about. No, it's not. By 90% it's not. By 90% it's about soft skills. 10% about hard skills, because you need to know computers and you need to know marketing and things like these spreadsheets. Okay, but that's not what it's about. Those things happen very well as the smarts of the organization ongoingly depends on the health of the organization, which is the ability to apply the soft skills. So what's the game of leadership? I'm giving you flavors here. And you can draw from it what you can. But the game of leadership is a human business. And the rules of the game are everlastingly. They are not from today and tomorrow to get the best out of your people. That's not how you should think. How do I make my people be feeling happy so they can be in their very best as human beings? Not how can I get the best out of them? That's not the right way to ask it. The right way to ask it is, how can I make them feel better about themselves so they can produce better? But not just because of that. Because as a human, I want other humans to succeed around me. And that's the point. So this is where I want to bring it to an end. I'm here for you. Reach out to me. There is a whole crop of intelligence and application that I will deliver to you if you come with the right mindset and with the right expectations. We need to align expectations before I can work with you. Otherwise, you will think there is a magic wand and boom, there is a leadership course and you're a leader. It doesn't work like that. Leadership is ongoingly continuing, developing, and it's got to be input from people as well. So I'm making this tape. It might come across a bit tough, but folks, that is because I care for people and I want them to succeed. And I don't want to sell them BS and tell them, well, it's all nice and all cozy and you'll become leaders in my course. No, but I will take you through an obstacle course to your advantage, where you'll be able to learn about yourself and others, and you will gain bit by bit this special quality of leadership. And one day, without you ever knowing, you will pass that tipping point and you will be known as a leader, a charismatic leader. Call me.